Hey wedding venues, in this video today I am interviewing a real bride to get her experience of venue searching. So stay tuned as you're going to learn some really exciting and important things to help you be a better wedding venue. Now if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly Mortimer and I'm an international wedding venue expert and wedding sales trainer, and I've worked for some of the big names in hospitality such as Claridge's, Rosewood and Mandarin Oriental. And I'm really excited today to be joined by our lovely bride, Georgina. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Georgina Chapman. I got engaged last year in May. We were actually in Cuba when it happened, so it was really lovely.
Cuba.
Yeah, it was really nice, really tropical, nothing like London. Yeah, I run a VA business.
Perfect. So you're an organised bride.
I am a maybe bridezilla.
Oh,
maybe.
really?
I think my fiance might say I'm a bridezilla. We don't know yet.
Perfect. So Georgina, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your venue searching experience to help other venues give their couples a better booking experience and really, to feel happier about that situation. So to start with, can I ask, how long did you actually wait from the moment you got engaged to when you started venue searching?
So, like I said, we were in Cuba when we got engaged. There was no Wi-Fi there. Otherwise, I would have started looking about 5 minutes after we got engaged. So I was extremely enthusiastic. No, we got home and left it a few days. Thought about what we'd like to do, and then it was after then that we started to look for venues online. So probably about a week, not very long.
Okay. And it would have been quicker had you not been away.
100%. I was like, oh my god, I need to look for venues immediately.
And where did you go to look for venues? So what did you pick up, a magazine? Did you go to Google? Did you go to an online directory? Where did you go when you started looking?
So we were doing it. We went in completely blind. We've got lots of friends that are married, but we didn't think to ask them. We literally just went on Google and just typed in wedding venues, and I think we put wedding venues UK.
Okay.
We didn't even know really where we wanted to get married. So straight to Google, and I think I went onto a couple of Facebook groups that I'm now part of. Yeah,
okay.
And just did a bit of research.
Didn't look at any magazines for the venue searching part? It was all online.
All online. Didn't look at any magazines. You know what? I've seen bridal magazines, but I never even considered them.
No, not for the venue part. It doesn't.
No, probably not.
Does it?
Yeah.
So when you started looking at these venues, either straight on their websites or on online listings, was there anything that put you off inquiring at them? So when you were clicking through, what sort of things did you think, no, that's not my venue?
If the website looked like it was made in like 1998 and hadn't been updated since then I mean, it's probably a bit unfair of me, but we weren't too keen on looking on at the venues that looked like the website wasn't maintained, because it just makes me think, if you're not going to maintain your site and your image to the world that isn't there in the venue with you, then what's the venue actually going to be like? I know that's quite judgmental, but
it's normal.
Yeah, so
very important for venues to know that's how wedding couples feel today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we went on a website and saw a picture of like a really dodgy carpet with those, I don't like, those chairs with the sashes,
the chair covered with sashes.
Oh, I can't bear them. But if that was on like the front page, we just clicked off the website immediately. I was like, I don't want a carpet like that. I don't want sashes. Yeah, I'm a bit horrible.
Our viewers are going to think I set you up to say that, because in all
videos
I say,
oh my God,
never put chair covers and sashes. It's too 1990s.
No,
even if
I hate them.
To use them, that's fine. That's their personal choice. But don't put it in your marketing. Don't put it in your advertising. It's old school.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see the venue sort of naked, not obviously like nothing in there, but if it's just sort of left for me to decorate it how I want, or my florist, then I'm happy. I don't really want to see it set up for another wedding. The first thing I see, I want it to just be the venue as it is. So the venue as I'll see it when I go there. Yeah.
That's really interesting you say that. So something that I advise venues, and I don't know how you feel about this, is not really to use real wedding shots with people's families in, because I feel it just firstly looks messy, and also nobody cares about seeing everyone else's families. They just want to see what the venue looks like. Would you?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I think, I don't know if it would put me off completely, but it would make me be a bit like, I don't really care about them people. It's about me. It's all about me. Yeah.
So drilling down a little bit, how many venues did you actually inquire at? So ask for a brochure or ask for pricing. How many venues did you go for?
I don't know. It was a lot. If I went and looked through my emails from that time of year, I'd be scrolling for days. I emailed
20,
loads.
30, 40?
Maybe 40, 50, a lot.
Okay.
We weren't sort of limited to one location. We're in London, so we were looking in London, and then like Kent, Essex, Surrey, all the sort of home counties as well. So there were loads of choice.
And lots of choice. Okay. Now, out of those venues that you inquired at, how many could you say actually responded at all?
You know what? I thought that pretty much every venue would get back to us. Probably about half got back within a few days.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't hear back from. I mean, the emails that I wrote weren't particularly, "Hi, oh my god, I love your venue." It was more.
That's what I thought.
No, we just went to them and said, "Hiya, can we have a look at your brochure?" Or we filled in the form on the website, and most of them did get back to us, but only probably about half got back within a few days, which I thought was quite surprising. I didn't know if it was normal, but I thought it was a bit weird.
Unfortunately, it can be normal that in the wedding venue industry we are still a bit slow, and it's definitely something I work on. And I definitely teach venues that the quicker they respond to inquiries, the more likely they are to get the business, because obviously that makes us feel important and valued, and we get that information. And today's couples, we're used to getting everything right now, aren't we? We don't want to.
I'm so impatient. I want stuff yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, absolutely. You know, even when we order something online, we want it tonight, don't we? We kind
I know, yeah.
Amazon Prime have really hooked us onto this. Okay, so that's really interesting. So you think that probably only half the venues got back to you within a few days?
Yeah, I think so, probably.
And I do know this, but share with our viewers what happened to you with one venue.
So we did our email or form or whatever it was back in sort of like the middle of June. That would have been the latest we'd inquired, and I actually got an email back on Friday, so that would have been what the 12th of January the following year, and I just thought, what?
Well, that's really interesting. So 7 months after you sent the initial inquiry, and I've actually investigated into this because, as you know, this is what we began chatting about. It turned out that the inquiry had come through a very particular website, which our venues will be really keen to understand how this works. And the listing site is Bridebook. Yeah. And I have spoken to the owner of Bridebook to make sure this doesn't happen to other couples. And unfortunately, venues don't realise that they have free listing on Bridebook. They don't realise. All they have to do is go in and set their account up, but it doesn't cost them anything. I've absolutely checked with the owner on this. 100%, it's completely free. And so these venues that you inquired at, unfortunately, some of them didn't even realise they had this listing, didn't even make the inquiry, and they're obviously missing business because of it. So I think this is a massively important point for our venues watching. Go to Bridebook, see if you are listed for free, and if you are, make sure you have your account open. It doesn't cost you anything, and inquiries could be sitting there, unfortunately maybe 7 months old, which are no good now, but at least you can get the ones that are coming. And like I said, I spoke to the owners. It's not a scam. You don't have to pay for it. You just have to go and grab your inquiries. So venues, go to Bridebook, check your inquiries, because obviously for you might have booked one of those venues that didn't pick up your inquiry.
Yeah, exactly. And from a user point of view, I love Bridebook. I think there's an app for it as well, and it is so useful. And the venues listed on there, there's so many. So yeah, I found, when I replied to them and said, "Oh, how come you're only coming back 7 months later?" Which was probably a bit bitchy of me, but
no, but listen, it's great that you asked, because I was then able to.
I was just so confused. I was like, "What's going on?
We can stop this happening to other couples and
exactly.
help venues be better. But I kind of feel sorry for the venue now because they didn't realise.
I do as well, and it's a really nice venue. I can see why I inquired.
Oh. Okay, brilliant. So that's a really good point for our venues who are listening. Did the brochures, and I know we touched on imagery a little bit on the website, but the information you got from the venues, was it everything you needed? Did it give you all the clear information, laid out exactly what was happening for you?
Yeah, pretty much. The brochures, I love a brochure, whether it's online or in my hands, because I like it all to be there in one place.
Yeah.
And generally, the brochures were really handy.
Right.
Sometimes it was just, I mean, only a couple of brochures were basically just pictures and quotes from couples. Okay. And I thought, okay, that's nice. I do want to see pictures, but I also want to see information as well.
Okay.
But generally, I loved the brochures. I prefer a brochure to a website every time.
Yeah, because it should lay it out for you, shouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
This is where your ceremony will be, this is where your dinner will be, and sort of step by step, hopefully take it. So you felt that the brochures did give you that information, so that's good. So you said that you inquired at maybe 40 or 50 venues. How many actual show rounds did you go on? So how many venues did you visit in person?
You're going to laugh at me. I went to 2, and 1 was by mistake. Yeah, so we went to 1 on purpose.
That people just are going on very limited amounts. You know what you want. Amazing.
Seriously, we went to 1, and then my mum and dad were really nice, and they drove us to another one that we just happened to hear of at the other venue, which the other venue probably isn't too happy about, because I did love the first venue, but we went to the second venue on the day, just with it, like, you know, really last minute, and I loved it, and we booked it.
You didn't have an appointment, you just walked in?
No, we just walked it. We called them on the way and said, we're coming, and they're like, okay. Got there, and we were just like, yep, this is the one, and booked it.
Amazing. So this is another really important point for venues, because we often think, wrongly, that couples who don't make an appointment aren't serious buyers. We think if they just turn up, they're a bit of a waste of time. And I know myself personally that isn't true. I've had lots of walk-ins that book, and you're obviously a classic case of that. Perfect. So that's really, really good information. Okay, so you only met 2 venue teams in person.
Yeah.
What were your experiences of the people you met, and who showed you around, and how did they make you feel?
So the 2 different venues, they couldn't have been more different if they tried. Yeah, but I mean, I absolutely loved both of them. The first venue that we went to, can I say, or do you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the first venue that we went to, I think it was called the Orchard Suites.
Okay.
In Maidstone, in Kent. Never been to Maidstone before, didn't have a clue what to expect. I saw the pictures on their Facebook page, and I thought, yeah, it looks really nice. We went there, loved it, and the team were all quite young. It was really sort of trendy, like the decor and that you could tell they'd had a really good interior designer in to sort of, I don't know, kit it out with all the nice, fashionable furniture. It looked really good. And then the second venue we went to, which was the High Rocks in Tunbridge Wells, which is where we ended up booking, it was, the team were much more sort of traditional, don't want to say older, but they were
more experienced.
Much more experienced. The owner, I think he's owned it for about 40 odd years. Yeah, he's I fell in love with him. He was like a traditional English gentleman.
What did he make you feel? Why did you fall in love with him? What did he do and say that made you feel that?
He just made me feel like he was the expert. He would have everything under control. I mean, he was completely in control. He put me at ease 100%. Every ridiculous question I asked him, he knew the answer to straight away. He just made me feel like he'd been doing it all his life, which he has. So that's why we sort of went with him and his team. Sorry?
You felt safe in that venue.
Yeah, absolutely. We just knew that he would be perfect for us.
Amazing. I love that. So I was going to ask you what was the reason you chose your venue, but was it because of him?
So we love the venue itself. I think that's probably the most important thing. You don't want to get married somewhere that you don't like the look of or the feel of. Yeah, we loved the outside. It's built in a monument basically. in Kent, and the monument is called High Rocks. It's really stunning and it's completely unique. I've never seen anything like it. So it was firstly that, and then the thing that sort of sealed the deal for me and for my fiance who just wandered past, it was the team, and it was the fact that they just knew what they were talking about. I think they must have done thousands of weddings, so we just knew that
it
we'd
was
be
that
safe.
safety element again.
Yeah, absolutely. And they didn't seem like money grabbers either. Some of the packages that we looked at for other venues in the brochures, we just thought, what on earth are you paying for? I know that weddings are expensive, but that's just on a different level.
Okay.
And with where we booked, we found that I think the value is just, we just know that it's great value.
And I love that you use that word again. It's something I say to venues. It's not about being cheap. It's about being good.
No, not at all.
If you're throwing lots into your package and it's a great value, you don't have to be the cheapest on the market, but people do need to be getting a good return for what they're spending.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to us, obviously, we don't have endless money, but we're gonna. I wish I had, but we're prepared to spend lots of money on our day because it's our wedding day. I know that some people go, oh, I don't want to spend thousands, but we do. So that's just us.
Absolutely.
But we just when we saw what we were going to get in our package, we thought, wow, we get a lot, but we can see why it's this price. It's not ridiculously cheap. It's not really expensive. It's just well priced. The venue that we went to before, it was, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was about £16,000 for the package we looked at, and you got absolutely everything, including like a photographer, a cake. I thought, oh my God. And I thought it seemed sort of too good to be true. And it put me off a little bit, thinking it seems cheap for what you're getting. And I didn't want to go somewhere that seemed too cheap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You get what you pay for in most walks.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So you just touched on something really interesting there. Packages that include suppliers. So they've already got the cake and the photographer and everything else thrown in. How did you feel about that? Did you want to go and source your own people? Or were you happy to have them sort of picked for you?
It made me feel a bit suspicious. Because I thought, so are these people part of the package because they're your friends or because they are genuinely brilliant at what they do? I know that some venues have their own preferred suppliers. So for example, in the venue we've got, there was about 10 or 12 photographers that they want you to pick from, and I think it's actually part of their T's and C's anyway. Luckily, oh my God, the photographers on that list were all amazing, and we found
to pick which one rather than being told this is your photographer.
Exactly. And I wouldn't want to be told, right, this is the cake person you're having, this is the florist. And one of my family friends is a florist, we're using her. So I wanted to have some freedom. Yeah, I didn't just want to be given all the stuff and pay thousands and thousands and not know if it would be any good.
That's a brilliant point. I think, again, venues will really value that information. So just to wrap up, any good or bad things that really stand out for you that when you were venue searching, which is obviously one of the first things you do when you get engaged, it's a massive decision right at the beginning of the planning process. It's almost half your budget, it's a big thing. What stands out as being good and bad in that process for you?
For me, it's the customer service. It has to be top notch. It's what I pride my own business on. I would never leave 7 months between an inquiry and a response. I understand that in this case it wasn't their fault, but there were still a lot of venues that took 2 to 3 weeks to even come back to me, and I thought, it's just strange. Surely you want people to come and have a look around your venue. I don't know. So the customer service has to be brilliant. Otherwise, I'm not going to even consider you.
Amazing. Brilliant. Georgina, this is so helpful for venues. I really thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that you found that useful. We would love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Pop them in the boxes below. If you like this video, hit the like button as usual. I'm Kelly Mortimer. Georgina, thanks for joining me. Have a great day.
Thank you.